Hello again. This video is going to be about the reference sources that are available for medical interpreters or any interpreters actually when we're looking for vocabulary, terminology, definitions. So you're not going to want to miss this. If you're ready, we can just go now. Hi everyone. Welcome to Interpreting Simplified. My name is Jeanette. Bienvenidos a Interpreting Simplified. As promised, I'm going to share with you some of the resources that I use when I'm trying to find terminology, when I'm stuck on a word, when I'm trying to figure out how to say something. Now remember, these aren't the only ones that are out there. I'm not saying these are the best ones. I'm just saying these are the ones that I use. And then I'll just share a little bit about the process that I use to arrive at the proper word when it's really hard to find. So sometimes we're given words that the definition and the word that we're going to use in the target language really depends on context. Let me rephrase that. Everything that we do as medical interpreters is all about context. Context. Oh my goodness. How many times have people asked me, how do you say this? And they just give me one word. And I'm like, well, what are you trying to say? Well, I just want to know how to say that word. No, I need context. Otherwise, I don't know what word to give you or how to say that. So when we're interpreting, we're going to come across this a lot. It's very important that we're accurate, right? That the information that we're interpreting is accurate, that we're not just finding the word that best matches it, because that's not what it's about. When I'm trying to find a word, my first go-to is Lingui. It's a website, lingui.com. What I do, that's my starting point. So I'll put in the word. Lingui will give me a list of options of the Spanish word. And then I have to decide. I can't just take Lingui's word for it. I have to decide, like, does this even make sense? So what I do is I check another source. Sometimes I go to word reference. And sometimes what I do is I take the word that I think best matches the situation, and then I go to La RAE, which is another website, the Spanish dictionary. It's rae.es, rae.es. And I look up the Spanish word to see what it means in the dictionary. Then, just to be sure, once I think I have my phrase together, or I have the word down right, I go onto the website, just online into the internet, and I search this to see what comes up. Because if the terminology or the phrase that I'm using is correct, it's going to bring up the proper information online, right? If it makes no sense, I'm going to get a bunch of weird stuff on the internet for my search. You always want to cross-reference, cross-check, verify. Oh, the most important source. Colleagues. Like, I will call my colleagues or message them and say, hey, how would you say this? And I give them like the whole sentence. And sometimes I provide additional information like, okay, it's this patient with this condition and this is what they're saying. So what word would I use in this case? And the colleagues are the best resource. Sometimes my colleagues and I get stuck. So we do the research, and then we have some really fun and interesting debates on terminology. They want to say one thing. I think, I can say it differently. And sometimes it's not a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of preference. Language is so huge. Like, there's so many ways of saying different things. Spanish for me especially feels like, wow, like I can say this in like 3 or 4 different ways. So again, it's not a matter of whether it's wrong or right. It's a matter of, in some cases, preference. So if you are stuck, you've checked Lingui, you did word reference, you went to the Spanish dictionary, and let me say this. We use the Spanish dictionary when the target language is in Spanish. But if you speak another language, you would refer to a native dictionary in that language. So if you speak Korean, you would go to the Korean dictionary. If you speak Portuguese, you would go to the Portuguese dictionary. If you speak Chinese, you go to the Chinese Mandarin dictionary. So you want to go to the target language dictionary to confirm terminology and definition. Sometimes you do all of this and you're still stuck. But eventually somebody comes up with the answer. Like for my colleagues, we're both searching and then we finally get to the bottom of it. Sometimes I actually have to call the providers and ask for more details. For example, sometimes they'll, on the discharge instructions, they'll write hardware removal. Hardware can be any kind of orthopedic hardware. It can be a plate, it can be a screw, it can be a bar. So I've actually had to go up to the doctor and say, what is it that you're trying to take out? So that I can be more, so I can be more clear on what the hardware is. So sometimes we just have to go with what they give us, which can be a little frustrating, but we still get the job done. I hope this was helpful. Again, not the only sources out there in the world. These are just the ones that I work with. And this is just to give you the encouragement to look at in different areas to help you, because we don't know every single word on the planet in our source language or the target language. So if you thought this was helpful, make sure you click like. If you have any questions or comments, do so in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe because it helps me be here for you. And I'm not gonna get tired of saying this. If I can do this, anybody can do it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.